All right, people, welcome to another episode of Natty News Daily. This one, I guess we have like news, but it's more so just us updating our lives in the world right now. So, I guess I'll go first, since mine's might be the most substantial. I was in the hospital. I was in the Emerge on Monday. So Sunday, like 4 o'clock, just chilling, right? Waiting for my parents to come for dinner. And literally out of nowhere, just all of a sudden shooting, stabbing pain in my stomach, like abdominal area. I don't want to say stomach because that might be wrong. But, anyways, abdomen, not feeling good. So, a couple hours prior to that, I ate and I had like some vegetables that were like in the back of the fridge. So, that was the first thing I thought of was like, oh, I just like the veggies weren't quite up to snuff anymore. So the afternoon goes on and it's like it's painful, but it's like tolerable, I guess you could say. Like if 10 is like I'm in Emerge, it was like a 4 and a 5. I get the odd 7, but then it would come back to like 4 and a 5. So I'm just thinking it's like totally food related or something. Fast forward Monday night or Sunday night, sorry, like toss and turn all night. It's getting to like 7 consistently now. And Carrie, my fiance, is like, "Do you need to like go to the hospital?" And I'm like, "No. Like, I hope I just sleep it off. Like, I took like a Tylenol, and it's like three in the morning, right? Take a Tylenol, go back to bed, and I'm like, go to sleep. Wake up Monday morning, new week. I don't feel too bad, right? Monday's always a rest day, so I trained Sunday morning per usual, no issues, right? It wasn't until Sunday afternoon. Monday morning, get up, kind of uncomfortable, but back to like that 4 or 5 kind of baseline discomfort. So like manageable. Again, just thinking it's like something I ate or like just a stomach bug or whatever. So Monday, as the day progresses, it gets worse. By about 3 o'clock, I'm at work, like over the counter. I'm getting these waves of like 9 and 10 out of 10s. And then it would come back to like 7, then 10 out of 10 and 7. I'm like, man, like this is probably not good. So I messaged my coworker and I'm like, odds you can come to work. And he's like, yeah, man, what's going on? I was like, I don't know if I got like a bad case of food poisoning or if I'm like going down for the count, but I'm not in a good spot. Like customers would come in and I'd be like, hey, I like put my head down. They're like, you good? I'm like, I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Maybe. Talk to me later. So he comes in. By this time, it's like 4 o'clock. So now it's been like 24 hours since the first like shot of this all. So I text my fiance. She's at work. I say, hey, I'm going home. I'm going to put like a heat pack on my stomach and just like chill because I didn't really sleep. So I was so exhausted. I just want to like lay down. So I go home hoping to get like an hour or two of sleep. Nope. Laid there in like agony for like 2 hours till she comes home. She gets home. By this time, it's like 6. And I'm like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. I gotta go to the hospital, which like not about that life. I don't like the hospital. I don't want to go there. I don't want to see it. So it was a tough pill to swallow to go to the hospital. And the last time I was at the hospital, I had my appendix out. So I was having gnarly flashbacks, which was the weird part because when I had my appendix problems, it felt eerily similar to
Yeah,
this.
with the abdominal pain.
And
Yeah.
I was like, but that can't be because it should be
It's
gone.
gone.
It should not be in my body.
Yeah. Well,
So I
as
get
I talked with my dad, and he
Hopefully.
said theoretically it could be like something related to that, but you said it was on your right side, so that
yeah,
wouldn't be it would be on the other side
yeah,
anyways. So
yeah. So then 7 o'clock, roll into Emerge. They take me like, intake, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And like the hospital situation right now is like so shit because you have to be by yourself. Like Carrie left, she couldn't stay with me. You're in a mask, it's plexiglass, like it's just
it,
like you don't
it's cruel actually.
you don't want to be there under normal circumstances, like normal hospital life, but now it's just so much worse. So I'm there 7, 8, 9, and like I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm writhing in pain basically in this chair, right? And I hadn't got sick.
By yourself too.
Yeah, like there's other people like sitting around, but yes, like I'm alone.
Yeah.
And my phone's like 10%. And I'm just like, this is so shit. So I hadn't actually got like nauseous or sick, but I don't know if it was a combination of like the temp, like it was hot in there and I was just starting to like, get awful, like just going downhill quick. So I go in the washroom and just like gone, gone, terrible. So I'm like, man, like this is getting bad. Like, holy shit, how long is this gonna take? And like people that were coming in after me were getting called. I'm like, oh my, like I was just getting so frustrated. And like, now it's getting to the point where it's starting to subside a little bit. And that's when like the little voice in my head's like, well, Leroy, like go home. You're fine. But then it would hit me again. So it was a little after 9. So 2 hours sitting in a merge. During my wait, they had come taking some blood. So they're like, we'll have some blood work when you get back to the doctor. So then I go back, blood work comes back, no issues. I'm like, oh, well, that's at least good. So doctor's like, explain to me what's going on. So she's like poking around my stomach. And like Dan said, like my right lower abdomen, like when she pushed that, like I actively winced. I was like, okay, that really hurt. So she's like, all right. So she said, your appendix is the first thing. She's like, with you being young and healthy, you don't drink, you don't do drugs. Like, first thing is appendix, because that's kind of like it can go really for anybody, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, that's obviously not the case. And I said, what about a hernia? Like that's what made the most sense in my head. It was just like from lifting, and she's feeling around. She's like, I honestly don't think so. And there's no like lumps or anything. So I'm like, all right. So she's like, I want to take like a urine sample so we can check your kidneys. I'm like, all right. She's like, maybe a kidney stone or something. I'm like, okay. So we did that. By this time, it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock, and I'm just exhausted. I'm so tired. Every time she leaves, I pass out. And then she like whips a curtain open, and I'm like, huh, what? She comes back and she's like, everything looks normal. She's like, your kidneys are like fatigued, but it's probably just because you're dehydrated and you haven't really drank anything in like 12 hours. She's like, there's no blood, there's no like nothing of concern. I'm like, all right. So they had given me pain medication and everything too. So by that time, like I was feeling like relatively fine. Like it's down to like a 2 out of 10. So she's like, I want to do a CT scan, but I don't think we need to keep you here tonight. You say you feel fine. All the tests have come back without issue. She's like, if you can go home tonight, then go home, and then they'll call you Tuesday morning, the next morning, to get your CT scan. I was like, all right. So I go home and woke up Tuesday morning, felt like fine, honestly, like a little bit of discomfort, but nothing to complain about. And they call. I go in at I don't know 20 after 1 on Tuesday, get my CT scan. I was in there in like 5 minutes. Um, Went home, chilled, no problem. Yesterday, really no issues to speak of, felt fine, was able to eat okay, drinking was fine. And then this morning, a little bit of discomfort, but could have been just from training, just putting that little extra stress in my body that I wasn't ready for. Um, and the CT scan basically showed nothing of like major concern. They found a cyst on my liver, but she said it's benign, which is good. And she said my intestines were a little bit inflamed, which could be related to just whatever was in going on with my body at the time. Could have been food, like you never know. But as it stands right now, we don't know what happened, and now I'm here.
It's so bizarre. It's like,
Yeah, yeah. They basically said like I was like, help me understand this. Like when I was with the doctor, when she said like the blood and urine was no issues, I was like, help me understand this. And like, I'm in the fitness and health space. Like I want to understand what the heck's going on with my body. And she's like, if I'm being honest with you, like 50% of abdominal pain, we like don't solve. She's like, the other 50% is what we see with like tests, and we can see that it's your kidneys or it's your liver or it's your stomach or whatever, right? But the other 50% is, it's food related, or it's gas, or it's indigestion, or it's a cramp, or because you have your appendix out, there's scar tissue and that got inflamed or irritated for some reason. Like we don't know. So yeah. Good week.
Crazy.
You're
Crazy.
like, you're probably sitting here like, is this gonna come up again? Is this gonna flare up? Is it just gonna go away and never happen again? It's like,
Yeah. But new low weigh-in.
because you haven't drank anything for like, or eaten anything probably for 3 days.
I was 185 yesterday. Let's go.
Yeah, your mini cut turned into like a mega cut.
That's right.
And
Yeah,
I mean, mini cuts are aggressive already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been my week so far. A little scary. I was like, this stuff, I mean, you guys probably are similar to me where you're relatively healthy, and
Yeah.
a cold for you is like as bad as it gets. Like, I honestly, this doesn't happen. The last time something like this happened was my appendix, and like I said, it was eerily similar. And that was not fun. So that's like what's running through my brain when this is all happening. I'm like, okay, like what, last time something like this happened, I had to have surgery. Like, where is this leading? And it wasn't something I was ready to deal with, and it was stressful. Friends are freaking out.
I didn't even see your posts. So
well,
like,
I posted a story saying, like, because like I had clients like checking in and stuff. Like, I didn't know when I was going to be home, so it was like the last one or two trickling in Monday, and then everybody messaging me Tuesday morning, and I didn't know, like, am I going to be in bed? Like, what's happening? So I posted a story and was like, clients, please be patient. I'm in a merge. Like, I'll reply when I can. Like, didn't think of like everybody being like, wait a minute, why is Leroy in a merge? And like, I put my phone in my pocket, and within like 4 or 5 minutes, like, it was like vibrate, buzz, text, DM message, and I went like this, and I was like, oh fuck, I shouldn't have done that. And I'm like spamming, like, I'm okay, it'll be all right, talk to you tomorrow. Like, yeah, it was crazy. So here we are. What's today? Thursday, and yeah, I feel like nothing happened.
Do they have any follow-up? Like, are you doing more testing, or are they just kind of gonna leave it be?
Well, it was like such a shit show. So when I went and had the test, the doctor at the hospital, she said, if you feel okay, let us know when you get your CT scan, and we'll send it to your family doctor, and then you can just go home. If you don't feel all right after your CT scan, go back to Emerge, and we'll, sort it out kind of ASAP. I said, okay. So after my CT scan on Tuesday, felt fine. I said to them, I said, can you please send it to my family doctor? They've got all their information at the front desk. They said, okay. So that was Tuesday. So Wednesday, I didn't really think about a whole lot. Like, I didn't think about it. I was like, all right, this is the first day after the whole ordeal. So, I don't expect an answer today. And then this morning, because I was still like kind of iffy, Carrie was like, you should definitely call the doctor today. You haven't heard anything now, and we're 2 days later. So I called my family doctor. I get reception, and I said, hey, like, you guys should have some stats from a little bit of an incident with me earlier in the week. Like, I'm curious of the results. And she goes, oh, we can't disclose information from another doctor, like the doctor at the hospital. She's like, they have to give you it. I was like, well, they told me that you would get it and you could tell me as your patient.
You're the patient. It's your medical history, so you have full access to that.
So they're like,
at least in the freedom states.
So she goes, this is the reception lady. So she goes, all right, well, let me talk to the doctor. She's busy right now. She's like, I'll call you back and I'll let you know. I said, all right. She's like, but just a heads up. She's like, we're out of office tomorrow, so you might not hear from us till Monday. I'm like, okay. And like, I would have been more upset if I was still in pain, but because I felt fine, I was like, all right, whatever. Like, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. So then I texted Carrie and I told her what was up. And she's like, wasn't there a number on like the sheet they gave you from the hospital to call if you don't hear back in 24 hours? I said, oh yeah. So call the hospital. And, hello, what can I do for you? I said, I had a CT scan. I was just curious if I could get my results. And they're like, oh yeah, we'll put you right through to radiology and we'll get that right away. So, all right, cool. Go through to radiology. Can I get blah, blah, blah? Oh no, you've got to go to, requests or something, like where you request information, like whatever it's called. And I was like, okay. So then I go to that and I don't even get a person now. I get a recording. Please press blah, 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 blah. Rhymes off like 4 or 5 different things. None of them are what I want. So I hang up. I'm like, okay. So now I can't get it from a family doctor and I can't get a hold of the doctor I saw on Tuesday. So then 15, 20 minutes goes by. My family doctors, they call me back and it's the reception again. She's like, hey, the doctor actually was able to review your stuff right now. And then she told me, like, the cyst and all that kind of stuff. She's like, so you feel okay? I said, yeah, like, I'm fine. She's like, well, if it comes back, then, go, we'll get it sorted out. But if you feel okay, I'm like, all right.
Mess. I feel like a lot of on a side note, like a lot of like the phone systems that are automated should just be on a computer where you can just go click around and then be routed to somebody where you can, I don't know, dial in or something like that through that system is so because you probably spent like a half hour plus on the phone and you're like, I got nowhere.
Yeah.
I
you're sitting there half
those.
time like waiting, like, nope, not that option.
Yeah.
I
Not
lost
that option. Maybe it's this option.
And then you
I'm
forget
gonna hold
it.
off because I don't
Yeah.
know if I don't know if that's perfect. So I'm gonna list all the options.
Yeah, and then you
before I
forget what
select
the
that
hit.
one.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then you end up selecting the wrong option. It's like, fuck, I can't go back. Yeah, it's a shit show.
Mm-hmm. I lost full access to our first business email because of an automated system.
I remember that.
There was no option to talk to a person. It says like, here are your 2 options for recovery. And it was like, put in your email password. It's like, well, obviously I can't do that because I don't know it. That's the whole problem here. Or get a text message to this phone number, which was my old phone number, which I don't have access to anymore. So it's like, if I literally could just like get someone on the phone and like read off the EIN for the business or like my social security or like whatever, like if I could just tell someone the situation, it'd be done. But you have to jump through, like, go here, go here, go here, go here. It's ridiculous. I hate it.
Yeah, and like especially like with like the hospital stuff, like they were like, press this if you need blah 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 blah, and I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Maybe I need that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't say anywhere. Press whatever for your CT scan results. Well, that's exactly what I need.
Oh, that's it.
6.
Yeah.
So that's been my excitement for the week.
You're on the up and up. It sounds like. I think.
Yeah, like I said, I feel fine. I don't have any remnants of even it happening. Like I don't know. Like I ate today, literally ate all my meals, drank all my water, no problems. Don't know.
It's good.
Knock on wood, it doesn't come back.
Yeah, I mean, of all the timing, this is great, but like ideally, like not anymore.
Never again.
Yeah, just stop. But anyways, enough about me. James is once again closing in on a show. How we doing?
Mm-hmm. I'm tired. I'm feeling it. I don't even know how many weeks I've been prepping at this point. It just feels like forever. I might just keep prepping and like never stop at this point. I might do like the perma prep, just hit like 50
prep of like 10 months.
52 weeks or something like that.
Or he was like holding his weight at like
yeah. I don't know. The last 2 weeks have definitely been prep feels. Up until the first show, like felt almost guilty because I felt so good. It's hitting me now. I've been prepping since like January, pretty hard, and it's caught up. So fatigue's there. It's a struggle to do like anything. Leroy, we were chatting before, and you said like you're talking slow. It's like like everything's moving slow. Like, I get tired.
Talk to me about prepping with a wife and kids, because that's something that I I've never dealt with. I eventually will deal with, and I'm curious as to how you manage that. Because like I'm in a long-term relationship, so it's really not much different on that side of things. But what's it like when it's you're eating your food and like the little one's over here wanting to play, or
you want to be left alone.
Yeah, or like wife and baby want to go for a walk, and like you could give 2 shits to move right now.
I've been really good about like doing that stuff because I just see it as more steps. Like I reason with it. It's like, all right, just more activity. It's helping you. But And Allie and I sat down very early in the beginning and said, like, I'm gonna do my damnedest to be as present as possible and to like carve out actual time where I unplug and be with them. And I have. What that has done has forced my workouts to be at stupid hours of the night or morning, which has been really rough. Like my normal would be, I would love to work out 5:30, 6 o'clock, but that's just not happening. I get off work anywhere now with my schedule, anywhere from 3 to 6. And then I come straight home and spend the next 2 hours or so with the family, help put Bella down, spend more time with Allie. And then when Allie goes to sleep around 9:30, 8:30 or 9, like that's when I start my workout.
Wow.
So it's tough. It made me completely change my eating habits because I have to save all my carbs pretty much until the end there. So I'm going until like 9 p.m. without like any carbs. My stim has been a little excessive, but yeah, you just make do and try and be as present as possible. The whole goal was to prep as much as I can without people realizing I was prepping. And I think I did pretty good until these last 2 weeks. And now it's like, I'm hurting. My body hurts. My brain hurts. I'm tired. I'm probably a little bit angrier than I should be. Just let me be. So, but yeah, lack of sleep was already there. And then when you have a child that wakes up at 4 a.m., 3 a.m., it's like, cool. I was already only getting 5 hours of sleep. Now I'm not getting that. So,
wow.
Yeah.
It's a whole different ball game, right?
But it's optional, right? I'm doing it to myself, so I can't.
100%.
Yeah. But I actually just realized I have to hop off. I've got another business call I gotta hop on to.
It's all right, man. We got you on for a little bit at least.
Yeah, all these
we weren't sure we're gonna have this, so
yeah.
This was the surprise podcast. So I'll sign out for that. You guys can chat, and I will see you guys soon. I'm sure.
Okay, buddy.
See you, James. We'll talk.
See ya. I'm trying to leave. I got another pop up. There we go.
he like disappeared, then he came back, and then he disappeared for good. So
your turn, man. How are you?
I'm pretty good, man. I'm feeling good, training good.
Those delts. Oof.
Yeah, that
was a
every time I like watch a video of my I take clips of like at least my first set of every exercise, and like I'm constantly looking at it like, Jesus.
Yeah, man, you look
like
good
all the time, even in like non like good lighting too. And I'm like, oh, I can like I've been sending. Well, I haven't talked about that, but I've been sending some photos to certain someone.
Yeah.
Progress shots, but we won't get too deep into that. But I'm seeing like in like not even that great lighting, and I can see this striations in my lats, just like moving or not even flexing, just like getting into my rear relax, and I'm like, oh my.
Okay.
So quads are starting to lightly striate too, which is cool.
What's the scale been doing the last few weeks?
It's pretty much held. I haven't been really pushing a deficit yet, so pretty much been holding my weight, but holding it about 172. So
that's a good look for 172. Frig.
Yeah, feel pretty good. And yeah, the lower half is really where I need to lose in general. But I mean then there's quite a bit to lose in general, but like to start seeing like light like striations on the outside of my quads, like light feathering is a good sign. I mean, that's in like ridiculous lighting, but it's like that's a nice sign. Like see regular leg veins too. Like I'm like, okay. One thing I was talking, all right, I kind of figured out is like my lower body takes a little bit longer to fill out than my upper half. Like, I mean, I've been in pretty much eating at maintenance almost for like 7 weeks or something like that. But it took about 2 weeks or so for like 2 weeks of maintenance, and my legs looked a lot better. Just like filled out, like look leaner, more regular veins, that sort of stuff. Coming out of a deficit. So
I've noticed these mid 180s are starting to look nice.
Yeah.
This is probably the best I've looked at this weight in a while.
Oh yeah, you definitely
Yeah.
I can see your face too. Like your face looks leaner, and it's like Man, you're still the 180s.
Yeah, a lot of people have
Nice.
like just said, like just visually in my face, just people seeing
Yeah.
me in passing, they're like, "Oh, damn, like you are
Yeah,
losing
I
weight."
can
Like
I can definitely see it.
I'm down like 13 since the start. So
Wow.
I'd like to like kind of mid to late 170s is probably where I'll stop it.
Yeah.
But I had like, I mean, I had this mapped out till end of August, and I mean, at this rate, I'll probably get there by the end of July, if not sooner, and then like I'll put the brakes on.
It's a good spot to be in. It's a good
Yeah,
spot to
and
be
I'm
in.
not like no active cardio, and I haven't adjusted food. I adjusted food once, I think, after the second week, just because it stalled, and then since then it's just been like almost 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 2 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, that's similar to what I did for mine. I haven't done any
Yeah.
cardio at all. Like my step counts are actually a little higher than usual, but like I've had to increase food because of that. So like my
Mhm.
step counts have been like over averaging probably 4,500, 5,000, which is high, actually very, very high for me. I think we talked
Right.
about this a while ago. Usually I average like 3,000, but
Do you use a Fitbit or an Apple Watch or what?
it's just on my phone. So who knows how accurate the number actually is, but
Do you just keep it in
and
your pocket?
there's obviously some untracked steps in there too when I set my phone down, but yeah, I mean, I have my phone on me most of the time, but like when
Yep.
I'm training and stuff, like it's away, or like sometimes I'm like prepping food in the kitchen and sitting on the counter, but like
Yep.
it just gives me a kind of a baseline though. Like if I run errands, like it's obviously going to be pretty accurate, pretty close. So
Yep. Yep.
just gives me a general indication.
No, for sure. Yeah, I'm very happy with how smooth this whole thing is going. I've never done like only time I've ever that I can really remember cutting has always been for shows. I've only
Yeah.
ever tried to go up outside of that. So this has been, a good little learning process for me, but I'm pleasantly surprised how easy this has been.
Yeah, like the mini cuts coming out of like the peak off season are always super smooth, man.
Yeah.
Like just because you're just like you're overfeeding and you're like, man, I'd rather not eat. And then the reduction in food, like the first couple days, like this is kind of weird, but it's like this is actually kind of nicer though. Like I feel like I'm not bloated all the time. I'm not full
Yeah.
all the time. Like training actually to an extent like sort of feels better because you're not like
Oh, for sure.
overloaded with food. I mean, that's
Yeah.
something you can manipulate. I mean, but only to a certain extent though, because it's like, you got to get in a certain amount of food
Yeah. That's
in
the
your
one thing
day.
that I really have enjoyed is not feeling full all the time. And
Yeah.
especially during training, like I felt, I don't want to say bloated, but like, just like that
Yeah.
full kind of heavy
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah.
Whereas now, like I feel light and I'm,
Yeah. And
yeah,
I don't know how
still
you like
heavy.
allocate your uh carbs around your training too, but like my distribution, like the ratio from pre to post is very different when I'm massing versus when I'm cutting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like when I'm
Right.
cutting, it's almost generally like 50-50. Actually, it's still a little biased towards post, but like when I'm massing, it's like I can only tolerate so many carbs pre-training, like
Yeah.
100 to like maybe 120 max.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
it's like if I'm eating close to 600 grams of carbs in a day, I need to make that like my intro is going to be like 50 grams of carbs, and then my post is going to be like
Mm.
200, 250. Like I've pushed close to 250 carbs. It's like, so it's like that, 100 versus 250 versus now it's like 100 and then like 135, 140. So it's not really a big difference. And honestly, I could probably tolerate more than 100 now. And that's the other thing. It's like when you're massing, it's like you could like you're really like backed up in general. Like I mean, man, like and like if you're close to a show, you could handle probably 250 grams of carbs and train an hour later.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's just wild.
Yeah. Your body's just a machine at that
It just
point.
it just moves it, just shuttles it around. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
No, I feel like outside of the early in the week incident, I feel good.
Yeah, I was gonna
Um,
say other than that.
I took like my like this past weekend was like the first like the 10 pounds. That was my first 10. So that's the first set of progress photos I took, and I was pretty happy with what I saw. So it'd be interesting to see what the next 10 looks like, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, it's going well.
Yeah.
But back to the previous conversation with the so for like a peaking perspective, like we're kind of alluded to it a little bit. What have you found, like, because and I mentioned, I kind of said that like my legs are kind of sensitive to just like manipulations. I have a tendency, my legs tend to be more prone to spilling. They take a little bit more time to fill out. What's been your experience with that? And work with clients too.
Yeah. I more often than not, especially with clients, since most of them have been beginners anyways, is err on the side of caution. I'd rather someone come in flatter but sharper, especially since not a lot of my clients are overly big. So if they look spilled, then they're just small and soft, which is not good at all, right? So for myself, I've only ever, done one kind of peaking method, and that's really just like dive into the show like low, 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 and then Friday carbs after weigh-ins, and then hit
Oh, okay, that's right, because you've had weigh-ins.
Yeah, so
So sort of a rapid backload sort of deal.
yeah, but it's not even like, when you hear the rapid backload, you think of Cliff, it's like an obscene amount of carbs. Mine was just like, usually it was a burger, it was fries, it was like cookies, it was like dirty stuff. But I mean, I can't argue with the result. Like it always seemed to work, but that was something that, I've been competing now 5-6 years. Like that's something that always worked. Right. So if you if your legs are more prone to spilling, I would probably be a little bit more cautious as well and err on the lighter side of things, because your upper body, if your legs are spilled but your upper body's full, like that's not the best look, because half your body is not spilled, right? Whereas if your legs are in and your upper body's just that much tighter, it's probably not a bad look. Even with just like a little bit of carbs pre-stage, some water, some sodium.
Well, especially since my legs are already like one of my fatter body parts. They are my fatter body parts. So it's like it's particularly sensitive. But like I'm also wondering, like I know Cliff talked about like kind of that load look, and just based on my experience, like coming out of a deficit, and how it took like a few weeks for my legs to kind of just start looking sharper. I don't know if that's, it just needs a little bit more time. I need to start loading up maybe a week or two out. And then rather than like having a quote unquote peak week, kind of like, okay, we've got a show in 2 weeks. Now we've got to start bringing things up. Sort of.
Or even like early, right? So you load, so say you compete on a Saturday, you load like Monday, Tuesday, and then let it taper down into the show.
And then, do like a front loaded.
And come in, on that more cautious side of it, right? Because I find like if your legs get soft, like for me anyways, like my last show, like I was pretty critical of my lower body. I don't know if it was a spilling thing or if maybe there was a little bit more fat to go still, but like I found like it takes away. Like if your legs aren't, like if those quads aren't cut in, like your upper body can be so good, but I'm just like looking at my legs, I'm like, man.
Yeah.
Which is frustrating, but
it is.
We're not gonna let that happen again.
You're gonna be a lot leaner, I think, next time around.
Oh yes, yeah. We're gonna get stupid shredded, and hopefully be like 158. That'd be nice. Be about 10 pounds.
That'd be good. Yeah, you put on quite a bit bit of size on since then.
I'm filling out the frame of the camera more.
Just like everywhere, you put on pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, like across the board, I think everything's better, which is good. I like my posterior chain was the main focus. And I
posterior is especially improved. I think your adductors have improved. I mean, that's kind of a weird muscle, but you put on a lot of mass on the inside of your legs too.
Yep. And I think
and then through your lats and erectors, and you just have a denser look to you.
Yeah, that's I'm not I'm gonna be still like I think 160 would be an aggressive guesstimation of what I'm gonna weigh. But that's not like you're still not like the biggest athlete on stage at 160, right? So that's what I want to bring. I want to bring like that like that dense. Like I just want to be like the ball of muscle on stage that like from every angle is just like thick.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I won't be towering over people, right? Even, at any show.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, you don't have to be super tall and towering. Like, if it's, it's not a who carries the most muscle. It's a bodybuilding contest. So it's like,
Yep.
If you're 5'4" and carry a lot of muscle in your frame, you could be outweighed by 100 pounds by someone who's 6 foot. But it's like you look bigger, or you
No, for
look
sure.
bigger relative to your size. It's like,
Yeah.
it's the Sean Clarita look. Like Sean Clarita's super light, but
Yeah, he's like
he is a
135.
ball of muscle though. He's
That's
huge,
right.
man.
Yeah.
Even at like what is he weighing at like 175, something like that at like 5. I don't even know. I don't know.
He's 5'3",
5'4".
5'4".
Yeah. I could be off, but it's like that's just a lot of mass to carry on his frame. So like he's getting out massed like raw on terms of raw numbers, but it's like, man, he's not getting really out muscle because that's a lot of muscle on a 5'3", 5'4" frame.
Oh, 100%.
I saw you posted him on the page, I think today, actually.
Yep. Yeah, a little throwback. 2019 or no, 2009, not 2019.
2009,
2009 WNBF Worlds.
I think Brett got a photo with him too, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he's got one that floats around. Brett
I'm
looks
sure that'll get on the page at some point.
Yeah, I'll have to message him. All right, man. Well, I'm glad we could get this sorted out. For those listening, this was kind of a hit and miss with how I was feeling today, but I'm glad we were able to get her done. Me too. Yeah, glad you're feeling better too, especially, most importantly. That's right. Rock on. Anything for the Natty news. All right, buddy. Well, thank you for coming on. Everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give us a like. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at natty_news_daily. And we'll see you guys in the next one.